This is the entrance to the Keystone Thrust Trail. This is a moderate intensity trail that rises about 400 feet and leads to the famous or notorious Keystone Thrust Fault. Here you can see some Utah juniper trees and a scrub oak tree next to it. Then this nicely formed Utah juniper. So this part of the trail at the beginning leads down to the White Rock Wash. And it's just beautiful out here, as you can see. Now, I'm not sure what this structure is. But it says 10/18/1984. Now you can see where this trail slopes down into the wash. And you'll notice these white rocks, these boulders, that have these little spots in them. These boulders are large pieces of sandstone. And these spots on these stones are called Moqui marbles. Now, when these marbles are fully developed, they actually fall off the sandstone as the weather sort of shaves off the sandstone around these Moqui marbles. As you can see here, this one is actually almost ready to form a complete ball-like structure, the marble, and then eventually fall down into here. I don't see any well-formed Moqui marbles at the present time. Iron deposits form concretions in certain areas of the sandstone, and then they get attached to other little iron and sand particles and eventually over time become hardened. So this is the White Rock Wash that we're going through. The path pretty well is marked, so you can't get lost and miss the trail. So you start out of the wash and you go slightly uphill past more of the juniper trees as well as the scrub oak, and this is what I'm calling, it's either serviceberry or olive. It's looking more like a desert olive tree. And of course the Utah juniper with the characteristic berries. And of course the Paiutes use these berries to cure anything from headache to indigestion and what have you. Although for most people, trying to eat those berries will cause more indigestion. Then as we continue up the trail, looks like there's some hikers coming down. You can see a stand of banana yucca. And you can tell it's banana yucca by the little strands that come off of those leaves, which the Paiutes use to make thread. Then you come to this board structure here. And the trail continues upwards. And again, you have the black brush, because this is at the elevation of the black brush community. And this brush looks like it's dead, but in reality, it's living, and it'll start to bloom in the spring. Here is a form of ephedra, or Mormon tea as it's more commonly called. And next to that is banana yucca. All the dark, bushy, small things are black brush. So as we look across the horizon, over there, the Calico Hills, just the top of them, and then as we pan, Trailhead comes into view. And then the Hogback Ridge. Is noticed here. And then beyond that is the La Madre Peak. And it's just around the side of that hill. Let's see, this is the top of the Hogback, and then as you go down in between there is the trail that leads down to the Keystone Thrust. This is heading down the trail from the Hogback Ridge to the area of the actual fault, which is just above that trail that you see in the distance. So this was once sandstone all the way up here, and then with the thrusting motion, this limestone was pushed over it and actually protected it for a while. Then there was some recession and weathering, and the sandstone was revealed again. So as we go down the trail, we see these bushes that I'm not sure what they are. I'll have to look those up as well. Then there's some black brush. And more of these. And then just ahead is that very colorful manzanita, Mexican manzanita, known by its distinctive leaves as well as the red bark, as you can see here, or stems. Then the trail leads on and goes around that bend after that plateau, and then sort of ends in a canyon. Now you can cross that canyon, but that's pretty much the end of the things to see at the Keystone Thrust Fault. So it's time to head back, and of course it is all uphill for this part, and then downhill, thank goodness.